Signore e signori, ladies and gentlemen, buonasera, benvenuti alla Casa Italiana Zerilli-Marimò for the 29th edition of N.I.C.E. New Italian Cinema Events in New York. It's very easy for me to remember the year of the N.I.C.E. presence in New York because it's exactly the same as the Casa. We were established in 1990, both of us. And from very early on, we started collaborating with Viviana Del Bianco and her colleagues in Florence to bring contemporary Italian cinema to New York. And then they move on and they go to other parts of the world. But that's where we meet. And as I always say, there are times like now when it's easier, relatively easier to see contemporary Italian cinema in New York, either festivals or special screenings or occasions. When Viviana started, they were the only ones. So if you wanted to see a contemporary Italian film, you had to wait for Viviana to literally carry the films from Italy and bring them here and show them. So it's also a great chance for me to thank her for the pioneering work that she did, for her stubbornness, because she never takes no as an answer, and also to thank her for wearing this great makeup. Viviana unfortunately tripped and fell here in New York. She's not suing the city yet, and I'm very grateful that despite this, she wanted to be with us to greet you on this occasion. Please welcome Viviana Del Bianco.
Thank you very much. It's a present for the people in questa splendida Casa Italiana Zerilli-Marimò. I decide from the box and the scalino from the N.I.C.E. Thank you very much. Non posso parlare più di tanto.
Thank you. Thank you, Viviana. Ce la fai? This evening we have a screening. I think it's a world premiere of Dance Again with Me, Heywood, directed by Michele Diomà, and it's going to be preceded by the screening of a short film, American Marriage, directed and starring Giorgio Arcelli Fontana, who is also the interpreter, the main actor of the film by Michele Diomà. I'm going to call Michele to the stage in a minute, but I would like to recognize in the audience the presence of a great master of world cinema, and we are fortunate enough that Italy has a special place in his heart. Please welcome Mr. James Ivory. As somebody who spends his summers in Florence with a bunch of American undergraduates, I would say that nobody like Mr. Ivory really contributed to the promotion of an image of Italy in the mind and in the hearts of all the English-speaking world. And for this, we're very, very grateful. And I would like now to ask Michele Diomà to come to the stage. And he's going to have a chance with his cast and crew to also for a Q&A that is going to be moderated by Mario Costa of the Laguardia School for the Performing Arts at the end of the screening. Yes, thank you. And I would like to ask, Michele, I know that there are, aside from Giorgio Arcelli, there are other members of his cast and crew in the audience, so you might want to call their names, say what they did on the film, invite them to stand, take a bow, get a round of applause, and then we're going to start right away with the screening of the short by Giorgio, followed by the film by Michele. Please.
Thanks a lot. Giorgio Arcelli Fontana, where is? Come on. Just you. Giorgio Arcelli Fontana is the first actor of my movie Dance Again with Me, Heywood. Ottavia Orticello is the protagonist, the invisible woman. Thank you to Ernesto Costa, young actor, the future star, Mario Costa, the professor Mario Costa. Emma Costa, all the family of Costa, and Elisabetta Latanza, my very important friend from Milan. From Milan, no, because I'm Napolitan, but this is another story. No, because when you are a Napolitan director, always is important to have a producer from Milan. Maddalena Morganti, and now. Oh, Laila Rutisauser is a very fantastic actress from New York, and Viviana Del Bianco, Sabina, Mila, and very, very thank you, Maestro James Ivory, with all my heart. Another actor, my friend from Ischia, Antonello Pascale. It's not in this event, but I think Antonello. Ok? Ci siamo tutti? Thank you very much.
So before I forgot something, before we move on to the screening of the two films, I just want to remind you the following appointments with NICE New Italian Cinema Events in New York. So we have tomorrow, that is Thursday the 21st, a screening of the documentary Camorra by Francesco Patierno. It's going to be at the Max Documentary Center in Harlem. On the 22nd, back here at Casa Italiana, Traveling with Adele by Alessandro Capitani. And on Saturday, November 23rd, the screening of 5 is the Perfect Number by Igor at the SVA Theater here in Chelsea. You find all this information on the website of the Casa Italiana. Please look them up. All the events are free and open to the public. Take advantage of this unique opportunity to see contemporary Italian cinema in New York. And now let's see the films. Thank you very much and stay for the Q&A.
Michele Diomà, Giorgio Arcelli, Fontana. Thanks again to light the movie up and this night, this place with your presence. It's such an honor to have you with us tonight. And I would like to start this Q&A with a question to you. What did you think when this crazy Italian filmmaker knocked your door asking about this project?
I was shocked tonight. That's all I can say. But I didn't mind it. I quite liked it. So I liked the movie, and I mean, it wasn't too embarrassing for me. So.
Thank you. So the first question is for you, Michele.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, no.
So the movie is has many things behind, right? It's not a fairy tale, but it's also has many protagonists. New York is one of them. How did you think about it? How did you? You've been thinking for a long time about the project, or just was because you came to New York to present the previous movie, always at Casa Zerilli-Marimò, Sweet Democracy, and then New York elided you. I don't know, but I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, it's a serious question, and for this reason, answer. No, because I'm joking always. No, this place, Casa Zerilli-Marimò, is for me a place of my dreams, because the first meet with this beautiful man was in my first premiere of Sweet Democracy. Sweet Democracy is my movie with Dario Fo, the writer, Nobel Prize. And this man from Piacenza with Love was in the public, and after that screening, say to me, "I'm so sorry, can I speak with you, Mr. Michele Diomà, with this R?" Because Giorgio, repeat with me, Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit.
This is the problem. And come si può dire colpo di fulmine?
It was love at first sight.
Colpo di fulmine.
It was more a moon butterfly scene.
Yeah.
Then turn into a
Yeah.
firefighter. Yeah.
And in that evening is start this trip with me. Yeah, this love story. Yeah, is a love story, artistic love story with Giorgio. And in that moment, I say, Giorgio, I say to you, I would like to shoot a movie with you and with your wife, Sasha. Sasha is the directress of photography of this movie.
Yeah, there is an incredible photography in the movie, cinematography. Like it's really,
Yeah,
it's excellent. Like it's really, it's the element that gives the movie such a great impact on
the photography is fantastic. The problem is the rest of the movie. No,
no,
the good actor you are, because I think from today your career is different. You are for tomorrow to tomorrow.
My letter
from tomorrow
of resignation is ready. So can I send to the?
Yeah, because to a perfect actor.
Right.
No, and not just like homeless. I think I say
Probably
like
homeless was more in my heart. I don't know.
Yeah, for the tattoo also. No,
all right. So another question. The movie, of course, has the presence of Maestro James Ivory, but also lists a series of maestri of the cinema like Stanley Kubrick, Georges Méliès, Giulietta Masina. Your characters, now watching the movie again, remind me Spencer Tracy in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
I'm a Dr. Jekyll and Mr.
So I'm right, right?
Yeah. But when I write a movie, when I dream a movie, always is like a mix of all movie of my life, and I think this movie is with many elements of my story. No, story like cinephile, no. Okay, do you think, Ottavia, of this terrible question?
Just in general?
Yeah, no. I would like if you make a question also to this man, or no, because I'm not easy for me to talk about. To talk about of my movie, because I think the director always speaks it's impossible, because all in my mind is in my movie. I speak with my movie. So, for me it's important to raccogliere le firme per abolire le Q&A.
So you already spoke through your movie, and you don't want to do a Q&A, right?
Yeah, no, but raccogliere le firme per
You want to collect the signatures? Is this an English test? Please, could you stop it?
Terrible. No, okay.
Maybe Giorgio, one of your actors, would like to add something.
I want to say I realized that I had the same pair of shoes in the first film, in the short film, in the feature film, in his film, and now as well.
The shoes magic.
I want to thank you, Michele, for making this movie possible, and also helping with the little short film we saw at the beginning. And I just want to introduce Laurie Hamill a second, if you can stand up, because she is Mrs. Strozzi in the short film, and Elaine and Norbrodsky are here as well, who helped to make the short film. So thank you to you too. Really appreciate. And the Casa Italiana is a meaningful place for me as well. And we already screened the short film here, and they always welcome young directors and filmmakers like us. And this movie it's the movie that you just saw, Michele's, and it's a difficult film. It's a different film. It's not a commercial film, as you guys understand. But what we like about Michele is that he puts his soul in his work, and he does what he wants. You can't imagine how many times me, Sasha, the DP, who is going to show up at some point, like, and Ottavia argue with Michele in pre-production and post-production because, and Maddalena as well. Yeah, everybody, like, you know, how many times you girls cried? I mean, but because he wanted to go with his vision, and there was no way to change his mind. And this is like, it's very annoying, but it's very respectful of a filmmaker. So we like that. And I don't know if you guys, you know, have any impression or have any question for any of us.
Yeah, I think we can open questions to the public.
Invisible question.
Why was there wind noise throughout almost the entire film?
Il vento che soffia.
Yeah. I remember when I was very children. It's important to have 3 hours, okay? For dance. No, I'm joking. I remember when I worked to my first project. The project was the documentary Born in USA, dedicated to birthday of the cinema. That documentary was produced to Renzo Rossellini. Renzo Rossellini is the son of mythic director Roberto Rossellini. And I remember in that occasion, I asked to Renzo Rossellini why in all movies Federico Fellini use the wind. And Renzo Rossellini answered to me, the wind for Federico was like the voice of the heart. Heart. Yeah.
Heart or the heart?
No, not the heart. The heart. Like
Heart.
and it was a secret for me because Renzo Rossellini was the producer of 3 movies of Federico Fellini. Prova d'orchestra, I don't know, like this, the title in English, Prova d'orchestra, The City of Women, and E la nave va, I don't know, also in English. And for this reason, I think the wind in my movie is my voice. Stop. Is a good...
Could it be like the voice of New York City, like the voice of the city, who's kind of the main protagonist of the movie, probably, right?
But after you are my first actress, why this question? No.
Any other questions? Because I have a question for. Okay.
I just want to say how Mozart must be so happy that all of his music in this movie is so perfectly choreographed to the visuals. Just amazing. Did everybody notice that? I mean, you had.
You want to say something about the music?
Rachmaninoff.
We rearrange a sonata, right?
Rachmaninoff is.
No, I'm talking about the first film.
Oh, you're talking
Oh, the short film. Ah, okay.
They go to the Figaro, and then it had.
Ma quello lì è Fellini, però. Fellini, è Rossini.
Rossi.
Rossini.
It was just so perfect. I couldn't
It
get
was Rossini, yeah.
It was all Mozart.
Yeah, we, I wanted to, I wanted to, because it was an Italian film about Italy, I want to use Italian opera as much as possible. And because it was funny, we went obviously like towards more Rossini and Mozart than Verdi and Puccini. But it's funny enough that like a very good piece was Mozart's The Magic Flute, which was not sung in Italian but in German. But we decided to the Papageno, the famous Papageno song, the one that goes like pa 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 Papageno, and we decided to record it in English with very good singers. But thank you for noticing that. Yeah.
So I have a question for the two protagonists.
Oh, okay.
How is to be invisible and how is to act with an invisible actress? And it's like it's confusing, right? Is it? How was it?
It was challenging because, well, sometimes Ottavia, who is great. I mean, Ottavia is a trained actress, and I'm more spontaneous. I'm more like But sometimes she wasn't there, and I remember these times that we had to shoot without Ottavia, and I had to talk in the middle of the street because, as you saw, the film is shot on the streets and in Central Park, where it was full of people, and we were shooting with these small cameras that people wouldn't even see, and I was just there, like moving around and talking to myself, thinking, "Oh my God, these people are gonna think that I'm crazy." And then I thought, but I'm in New York anyway. People do that. People are crazy, so I'm not the only one. But yeah, it was challenging. It's fun.
And how was it being invisible?
Okay, I was visible actually to everybody, but what I remember, people really thought I was crazy as well as Giorgio, not because of the invisibility thing, but because it was like July, the end of June, and it was so incredible. It was incredibly hot in New York, and I was in Central Park all dressed up in black with a velvet dress. And people were sunbathing on the grass, and they wanted to take pictures with me because I was really, I don't know, they thought I was crazy just like you, so...
Yeah, now you brought up a thing that we filmed like last summer, and July was incredibly hot, and Michele insisted, like, for my character I had to wear a coat, and then under the coat a jacket, and then a shirt, and we were shooting like in Central Park at like 2 p.m. and we yeah, it was hard. It was hard, and Sasha, the cinematographer, we would like wake up at 3 a.m. because we had to film in front of the New York Library, and of course you cannot just go there and film. It's full of people coming in and out, so we had to go there like at 5 and film those scenes there, and then stay up until like 10 p.m. and keep filming. We filmed like 15 hours a day. We shot the whole movie like in a week. Yeah.
Another question, Michele. You're on the credits says that this is produced by Neorealism New York Factory. You want to say more about your project based on Neorealism in New York, and why New York, why Neorealism?
Because I think in this moment the Italian cinema, I think, is good, but it's not important like in the past. And my idea, my project is to recreate a neorealism in New York. Because the neorealism wasn't just a different style of photography, of cinema. Yeah, but also a different idea to produce a movie. Because this movie, I don't know if it's beautiful or not. It is not this the center of the question, the problem. But this movie is free. In that moment, if you ask to very important director or not important director, excuse me, your movie is free, I don't know if it's possible to say, yeah. It's a little movie. I think I'm just a young director. For me, I must to learn this job. It's true. But in this screening, for me, it's possible to say my movie is free. And if exists this movie, free, the cinema is free for this movie. Wow. for me now it's important to have a glass of whiskey. A water. It's vodka. This is my bottle. It's vodka. It's vodka. Okay.
Can you tell us what you mean? Do you mean free monetarily or free psychologically, or explain what you mean by free?
Yeah. When a man say, "I'm free," he's free in all, for ideas of politics, for idea of art. I think to be free is not easy in this moment, but not just for a filmmaker, for all citizens. I ask why, for example, in this historical moment, is not easy to see a movie of Orson Welles in the TV. Yesterday, for example, I was in New Rochelle, in a college of New Rochelle. And when I spoke with the students, nothing know the cinema of Orson Welles. Nobody know the cinema of Orson Welles. And my question is casual this, or is a project this? Because I think after Citizen Kane is a masterpiece, for Orson Welles after not was easy to produce other movies in US. I ask again, why? Why? For this reason, I say it's important when a citizen realize a job, always say a se stesso, to himself, I want to be free, cioè voglio essere veramente libero. Yeah. And is a philosophic idea of the life.
But it's also about economical and financially.
Libero means freedom. It doesn't mean senza pagare.
Yeah, exactly.
Libero significa free o senza pagare, non significa senza pagare.
No, but I pay, Giorgio. I pay, Giorgio. No. What?
You mean creative freedom. Creative freedom.
Yeah.
Free to express
Yeah.
openly.
Like an inspiration. I always, I know I'm an erratic. I'm an erratic. I'm destinated to fallimento. Come si può dire?
Failure.
But my failure is fantastic.
Glorious failure, right? A glorious failure.
I prefer this and not to win, but if I win with a arbitro corrotto,
Oh my God, I don't know, like a
Corrupted referee. Yeah. Corrupted referee.
like Juventus, for example, it's not good. Oh no, because Juventus, no. No, it's different.
All right,
There's a
we're
problem.
turning into
Italians,
spaghetti,
Italians match.
Italian,
So.
So, Mr. Ivory, I have a question for you. How difficult is to produce such a film, but more than this, to circulate such a film nowadays?
Such as my film or such as this film?
There's a film, like the film that we just watched, but this kind of film, indie film, very independent, with a low budget.
It's almost impossible. It's practically impossible. And not only a low budget. I mean, all the theaters are gone, aren't they? If you want to see, there are wonderful films being made all over the world. Where do we have to see them? We have to go to Film Forum or IFC. We don't go to the theaters like the Paris, which is finally closing. I mean, all the theaters are gone. The distributors are gone. They don't want to bother with these kinds of films.
We have the quad.
Well, you have the quad, thank God.
Yeah, under this point of view, New York is a happy island, maybe, compared to other places in US or all around the world.
But how about all the streaming services? Is that something that filmmakers disdain because it's on a small screen, you're watching at home on a TV? Is that not?
That's che ne pensi dello streaming?
No, for me it's not important the screen where I see a movie. I say, for example, all movies of Stanley Kubrick, Sidney Lumet, Sidney Pollack, Charlie Chaplin. That movies for me was possible to see in video cassette, like is in English, video. Yeah, and for me it's not important. For me it's important to far vedere il mio film.
To show my movie. To
circulate the movie. To circulate the movie, to show your movie.
Yeah. Other question.
I think we have another question.
The lady was first.
Yeah, first.
Hi. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you, Giorgio. Your short film was amazing. I really enjoyed it. And my question to you is, are you planning on doing a longer version?
Oh, that's for me.
Yeah.
Because if he's planning to make a longer version,
No.
10 hours. That's, yes. As a matter of fact, we just finished the script for the longer version of the comedy, where with the same character, and in the longer version they marry for the green card, as here, but he pays her for the marriage, because it's an issue that happens a lot now. And then he doesn't have the money to pay her, so he brings her to Italy, where he can get some money from his family. And so we have like half of the movie is gonna be in Italy, and they have to fake the marriage there in front of the family. It's gonna be like something kind of my big fat Greek wedding, something like that. So we're really looking forward to film that. Northern Italy, in those countryside near Piacenza, Crema. That you could be familiar with it if you saw the movie Call Me by Your Name. That it's exactly the same area and the same like kind of buildings that we want to set it in. Yes.
When are you starting shooting?
As soon as we find the money. But soon enough, it's not too much complicated film. So in one way or another one, and Michele teaches us, you can make movies if you really want to, and yeah.
So I think there was another question about black and white. Why did you decide
It's not black and white. It's black and white in the blue. But because I wanted to sure not vendere, come si dice? Not sell my movie. I wanted to sure.
And sure you won't sell the movie?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. And if it's black and white, I'm sure.
That's good to know.
Okay, thank you.
Another question.
Another question?
Yeah,
last question,
okay,
right?
Last question. I want to make a quick editorial comment. I'm a graduate of Tisch, class 1986, dating myself. But back then, I don't know what they do now. I'm sure they still do it now. We would analyze films. You would break them down. There was an appreciation. I hope there still is. And regrettably today, it seems mediocre. I'm not talking about tonight's films. They were excellent. But mediocrity is good enough in a lot of respects. Okay, it's all right. Good. That's fine. What Orson Welles did, he was after that wonderful stellar production he did, that he invested so much time and energy into every shot, everything, he was set aside. Like you said, he had to go outside for financing. He found it very difficult after that with the films that he made. But I wanted to say quickly about the two films tonight. I love the illustrations that you had. And the question I had was about how do you decide on locations for the different scenes and shots that you shot? For this more for the second film really than the first, but.
I understand. The true first character of this movie is Manhattan. Is like to shoot an actress and shoot the hands, shoot the eyes, the hair, and I think the Queensborough Bridge is like the bridge between my dream and my material movie. And Queensborough Bridge for me is the more beautiful in picture in my movie, just for me, I say. Thank you for your question. Thank you. Last question again, Elisabetta.
My question is about the ending of the movie. So, what was the idea behind the ending? Is that a fairy tale imagined by the child, or a fairy tale imagined by the other homeless guy, Antonello? What was the idea behind? It was like trying to give the audience with the idea. Which one of the two?
Well, Elisabetta, was the perfect end? Why this question? Sorry.
Let's bring the actor before.
Ernesto. Ernesto was we were on set was a little children. Now is a teenager. Is a man. Is a man with mustache.
He's a
little bit.
He's a bully now. Like he's turning into a bully man.
Your question, but tomorrow I call you and I ask. It's a secret.
Okay. No, sorry.
No, sorry.
Go ahead.
In the future, when this movie will be in the books of history of cinema, because I know this, because that is my vision of future, risponderemo.
He'll answer that question.
Thank you.
We want to thank again everybody, Michele, Giorgio, and James Ivory for being here tonight. Thank you so much.